Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was created in the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named MutedEnd7895. The post is titled, "I know that my husband is cheating on me with my best friend, but if I left, he will take half. I am a 40-year-old mother of a baby girl who is 5. I have been married to my husband for 12 years. About 10 years ago, I started my business and it is my pride and joy. I love my life and I enjoy my work. 2 years ago, I lost my beautiful mother to breast cancer. It all happened in 5 weeks, and she was so young, 55 years old. It sent me into shock and depression. A short while before that, my best friend found out that her husband cheated and he left her for his mistress. It was a hard time, and my best friend and I became even closer than ever before. She moved in with me for a while after my mother passed because I wasn't really functioning and she was homeless. I started with antidepressants that killed my needs. I felt guilty for my husband, but I really couldn't do anything but try to be healthy again as soon as possible. My best friend lived with us for 1 year and they started sleeping together towards the end of that year. That's when I got home early and heard them. I ran out in shock. I came back a few hours later pretending nothing happened. I managed to smoothly find her a place because I couldn't bear it happening in my home. My sanctuary, my happy place where I live with my daughter. My best friend had already found herself a job, and I took the opportunity to find her the apartment near her job. She was grateful. I was a bit more relieved. The affair is still going on. If I leave, he will take half. It will ruin me and my business and what I am trying to build for me and my baby. No, I don't want to leave. It is so unfair that he is the one cheating and I am the one who will pay if I said anything. I refuse, so I am letting it happen. Instead, I wrote him off as my companion and safety blanket. I still have lots to be grateful for. My baby, my family, and my beautiful home, and my business. Most of the time, I am content and happy even though I myself don't know how I'm doing it. Maybe it is numbness or resignation, or maybe it is true contentment. But sometimes when everything is 100 times magnified, I can barely contain my panic, especially at night when he wakes me up because I'm crying. Again. Are you having a nightmare? And he tries to kiss and cuddle me to make me feel safe. I'm here, you're safe. I wish I could tell him that my nightmares are my escape from my reality with him and that his shoulders aren't safe. He rarely asks why I am crying. He probably thinks it is mom, because that's what I tell him. But sometimes I feel like he knows or that he can't help himself wondering. What's going on behind those eyes? What do you mean? I can't read your face anymore. See, you are silent again. When I look at him, he immediately looks away, scared he will turn into stone, and says, "I miss you." That's all. My panic has increased more these past few months since he started paying me attention again. The first period after mom's passing, he never bothered me out of courtesy, I suppose, never asked for intimacy. Then he had her, so he didn't need me. But now, I don't know what changed. They're still together, so what does he want from me? Is he testing me? I never understood why they're doing what they're doing either. I have seen their texts. There's no love there, no respect, no warmth. Not what I would expect from two people who are sleeping together, especially not when the stakes are so high. You would think that they love each other so much that they're willing to pay the price in case they're caught. No, there's a lot of anger, fighting, and resentment. A lot of guilt and self-hatred. He calls himself and her disgusting and shells of human beings. Is that too some sort of love? I don't know why I am writing here. I googled about infidelity and self-help and I ended up in this community and I read tens of similar stories. Maybe I would feel better writing my own down. Please don't think too ill of me. I know that I am pathetic, but I used to have more dignity. User Worldly Mirror 1555 said, "My nightmares are my escape from my reality with him. That's not okay. At least have a conversation with a couple of divorce lawyers before you assume you're going to lose half of everything. You probably have more rights than you realize, especially if you find a really good attorney." User The Truth Boomer said, "As someone who found out his wife had been having an affair for 10 years with the best man from our wedding, I left and she took more than half. And despite it all, I can say with the confidence born of experience that some things are worth paying for. My life improved immediately after parting company with someone who was not willing to commit to the same degree as me. My 2 cents. User Queen Mother 81 said, find a lawyer to protect your assets. Also, stop being her friend. Why would you entertain her after she continues to hurt you? Let him know that you know. There's no point in playing the games they are. Put it out in the open. Tell your friends and family. While you were in the midst of grieving your mom, your husband and ex-BF decided to engage in an affair after you gave her a place to stay, literally biting the helping hand. Straighten your spine and coat it in steel. User HeathaLee73 said, wow, the person whom you supported after her own spouse cheated on her decided that having an affair with your husband was the way to pay back your generosity. She isn't your best friend, she is a homewrecker. Your husband is a cheating asshat. Let him know why you are crying. That all of your issues are from his now long-term affair with the woman who was posing as your best friend. The only way to stay sane if you are insistent on staying is that both of you cut contact with her and go to therapy. Otherwise, you will mentally decline more and your business will fail as a result. Be honest with him about why you have nightmares. Right now, you are showing your daughter that it's okay to be treated the way your husband and his AP are treating you. What are your plans if he decides he wants to be with her and divorces you? Have you prepared yourself for that yet? User WiseConsequence4005 said, tell him that the only way you'll forgive him is if he's willing to sign a post-nuptial agreement that he'll not touch your business or anything that's in your name and ensure to have it notarized. Suggest couples therapy because some courts aren't willing to agree until all options to resolve are done. It also gives you time to prepare for divorce. User Stony2723 said, I think you're processing and in a lot of pain. You're smart not to do anything yet. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you have the power here. You should talk to a lawyer first and foremost. Lay the cards on the table and see what your options are. There may be some things you can do to protect yourself, your business, and your child. Cheating tends not to be looked upon well in court. Get your ducks in a row. The more you do, the more in control you will feel, and the less you will continue to take this treatment. I also hope you know that you deserve better from both of them. For her to do to you what has happened to her is deplorable, especially after you opened your home to her. Ultimately, it's up to you how you want the rest of your life to look. What you're doing now, I don't think is sustainable for you. Maybe install a Ring camera on your house. It may give you peace of mind about your own home staying a sanctuary. You have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. What would you want your daughter to do in your shoes? Would you tell her to roll over and accept this treatment? Why are you? A couple of months later, OP made an update. Hi everyone, I have made a post previous to this a few weeks ago. Thank you for the support and the many suggestions. If you want the details, please read that one first. I promise that I will make this one very short and simple. I have taken 2 measures to protect myself and my daughter when my husband and I get a divorce to protect my assets and my daughter's future. I am sure many will find my methods to be dubious, and honestly, it is fine with me. All's fair in love and war, and this is a bit of both. I told my father everything. He was horrified, but a bit relieved that he finally found out what's been hurting me. We have discussed the possibility that he could buy into my business in case I need to divide, so he and I have the bigger share and still can make the decisions. Then I agreed to my husband's suggestion of seeing a marriage counselor. He talked about my mom's passing and how it affected me and my mentality. He kept talking about me building walls and being distant and how he was longing for me to come back to him. I just wondered while he talked what he would do if I told him that I knew. Would he still complain about my walls or finally understand them? I opened up about my mom's illness and how it affected me, not only the losing her part, but the fact that my grandmother and great-grandmother passed the same way. It kept me thinking that I have inherited this and passed it down to my daughter and the guilt and fear that I've been feeling. I chose to have my daughter fully aware of the risks. What was I thinking? Since the counseling, we have been talking more in our day-to-day, and I just honestly told him that my business was one of the stressors in my life. That I am always worried that if I didn't fix our marital issues and he wanted to leave me, it would change my career and future, while his wouldn't because he is a government employee. This was 2 weeks ago. The day after, he sat me down and told me that he wanted a post-nuptial agreement to make me feel more secure. He wanted me to be with him because I wanted to, not because I had to. I talked in my first post about my house, etc., but I really don't care about that anymore. Everything else can be marital property, and honestly, I started to hate this house and I can't wait to leave it. So the next move is starting the separation. I am aiming for the end of this year, and then only the hardest part is left. Telling my daughter that mommy and daddy won't be living together anymore. I'm not looking forward to that part. User Substantial Youth 9106 said, do not start the separation until you have an ironclad postnuptial agreement made by a lawyer and signed by him. All of your assets and wants need to be listed. I would even make him sign an infidelity clause that he loses everything and hire a private investigator to get solid proof of his infidelity with your ex-BFF before the postnuptial agreement. You need to be smart about everything and protect your bases. User Choice Intention 926 said, I'm glad that you reached out to your father for help. It must have been so isolating that the two people you would have gone to for comfort are the two people who were causing you pain. Get the postnup done so you can move on. Once that's done, you can file for divorce. This isn't dubious at all, or it's less dubious than the activity he is engaged in. After your ducks are in a row, you should break it to him in couples counseling that you are divorcing him and what you saw. When he says sorry, you stand firm that he wasn't so sorry that he stopped. He wasn't so sorry that it never started. Not so sorry that at the lowest point in your life, he wouldn't betray you. User Comfortable Ad 2223 said, what a poss your friend is, honestly. I'm not saying your husband isn't. Obviously, both of them are. But your friend after you helped her when she was going through the same thing. I'm the kind of person that if someone helps me at my worst, when I'm better, they have unlimited credit with me for anything. If I can help back, I will if they need it, but if they don't need anything, I would be giving presents, offering my help or supplies if they have gatherings. I'm a pastry chef, so this mostly means giving the cake for every birthday. I just don't get how people can be this horrible. This next story was posted in the infidelity subreddit by a user named RA Kind of Lost Here. The post is titled, Planning to Ghost Him After Finding Out He's Cheating on Me. I found out my boyfriend was cheating a few weeks ago. I've been spiraling since, literally only running off of vengeance and pure disgust. I got this weird gut feeling and checked his phone while he was asleep. Those 20 minutes locked in the bathroom felt like years, and the shame keeps me from talking to anyone about it. I moved across the country to be with him, so I'm all alone. No friends or family here. He woke me up the next morning with kisses and breakfast and has been doing so a lot lately. Probably the guilt. He even bought me flowers for the first time ever, after me hinting at wanting them for years. He thought my quiet crying was out of happiness. He even brought up buying a house for us, something with enough space for potential future children. I'm still going through the motions, making his breakfast and protein shake every day, packing his lunch, making sure dinner is almost ready when he comes home from the gym. What makes me the angriest is that I really, genuinely thought he wouldn't do something like this. He watched his father cheat on his mother and father children out of their marriage, all while she struggled with infertility her entire life. My partner isn't her biological son, and never had her own. She dedicated her life to the two of them and passed away of ovarian cancer shortly before we met. Sometimes I think about whether she regretted staying with her husband or not. We have a small shrine in her honor, and something makes me look at it and expect guidance. I love the man she raised and hate the one her husband did, but they're both him and he's a grown-ass man more than capable of self-control, so I decided to walk away. Next week, my car will be picked up and shipped back home, and I got first-class tickets for me and my dog on his dime. He'll come back home from work and everything I brought will be gone, along with me. The only thing I think I might regret is not somehow being able to see his reaction when he walks through the door and realizes what's going on. User Future Ad 8467 said, I'm sorry you're going through this. It's the hardest thing to let go. As hopeless as it can feel sometimes, it does get better. Take your time in the beginning, but I think it's therapeutic to confront him eventually. Ghosting doesn't provide closure for you. In my experience, confronting the problem head on gave me a sense of closure. I try to take everything that happens as a life lesson. Good luck with everything. Under this comment, OP said, I personally don't believe in closure. I got all that I needed when I realized he was untrustworthy. User Suspicious Bear 6634 said, if he can go after you, you should probably leave a note or a sign that you're leaving him because of his cheating. Seeing that you up and left without a known reason from his POV might push him to follow you home. If he knows the reason and knows that he has no chance in hell of getting you back, it might delay a possible confrontation. That same day, OP provided an update. Almost every day, my boyfriend sends me money for lunch, gas, something. I thought he was just really kind. Turns out he was cheating, and giving me money made him feel less guilty, as though he didn't beg me to move across the country with him where I know no one. Once I found out, I wanted to immediately confront him, but was scared of the outcome since the apartment was only in his name and again, I know no one here. Now I just save every dime of what he sends to be able to pay for the $3,000 moving fees to go back home without hurting my own pocket too much, breaking my heart, destroying my ability to trust, and scaring me off from men I can handle, but messing with my finances? Nah, never. The transport company is coming next Wednesday to take my car, and my plane tickets for me and my dog have been bought. Gonna keep up my happy act and do the usual cooking of dinner and scrubbing his back and poof on Wednesday like I never knew him. It's the only form of revenge I could do that wouldn't haunt me. Good riddance. Edit, a few asked for details. There are 7 other women. Everything he told them was a lie. Name, age, height, city, occupation, all of it. The only common denominator was that he bought us all the exact same lingerie set for his birthday in January, and specifically requested I hang it up in our closet where it's viewable. Forgiveness is not on the table. He'll be surprised, but I doubt he'll be hurt. One day later, OP provided another update. I'll be single again pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to it, but also not. I finally can cook when or how I want to, and I don't have to split chores and can do everything on my own my way. But that's the only good part. I've been on my own since I was 16, and I've turned out mostly fine. I have a paid-off house and car, cute dog, am debt-free, and I'm finishing up my master's degree at 25. It could be worse, but I'm lonely. I'm not on speaking terms with my family and had a huge fallout with my lifelong friends a couple of years ago. I haven't tried making friends since because part of me hopes one day I can find a way to fix that friendship. Plus, I'm moving around so much that making friends is pointless. I'm not good at long distance anything. I never prided myself on romantic relationships. Sure, they're cool, but a loving group of women was always where I found the most peace and understanding, and that's what I want the most. I guess I'm just going through things right now, and I really wish I had people I trust to talk to. Friend breakups hurt the most. User Doofus Broth said, the math for time and money isn't working out on this end, but there is also a lot of info that is missing. It took me 7 years to pay off my house, and I was contributing to it like it was an emergency. Qualifying for a home and paying it off in that amount of time without help seems nearly impossible. I'm so curious about the formula here. I need a lesson in finance from OP. When I broke it down, it just doesn't seem possible except from a financial windfall, counting even a frugal cost of living along with an accounting for taxes paid, etc. And that did not include the cost for transportation, medical, groceries. Under this comment, OP said the following: the house was a $70K foreclosure and is 4-bed, 4-bath. I was a golf caddy, gentleman's club bartender, and occasional hostess and notary signing agent, along with selling stationery items on Etsy. Also, my scholarships paid for quite a bit of my home in general. They never specified what kind of housing for them, just housing. I lived in one room and rented out the other 3. A few days later, OP added another update. I found out my boyfriend of almost 4 years was cheating. We've lived together for 2 years and I'm leaving him tomorrow. He just doesn't know yet, and won't until after I'm gone. As mad as I am, as betrayed as I feel, I still love him. All I really want is to wake up tomorrow and this all be a nightmare. I don't enjoy this slice of reality. That the person I love the most has looked me in the eye and lied to me for who knows how long. And every time I do it, I'm left wondering how many times he did it. How many times did he wine, dine, and other women and come home to me? How many times have I been the stupid girlfriend who trusted her boyfriend blindly? How many times have I been some woman's laughingstock? Did he us back to back? Did his friends know? Did they look me in my eye and really not say anything? Did he love them? How many times did he tell me he loved me and mean it? When did he stop meaning it? Did he ever even mean it the first time? I'm not a master manipulator. Unlike him, I'm just composed because I've never had any other choice. Emotions got you beat or worse when it came to my parents, and I'm more than aware I have a shitload of trauma to unpack, but I can't. Not in the self-pity, woe is me, it's too hard, but no, I probably just can't. Therapists here are wildly westernized, and once I start with the short list, they'll probably just charge me double, maybe triple. And the last time I tried, he kept trying to convince me I enjoyed my own assault. Maybe I got cheated on because I'm emotionally inept. My intimacy levels are quite limited. The few times he asked about my childhood, I either brushed him off or told him one thing I thought wasn't that bad, and he was so shocked I held out on the actually bad parts. And that's where the hate comes in. person. He knows what it's like to grow up feeling unwanted. He knows what it's like to lose your parents young. He knows what it's like to feel like your entire life has been horrible event after horrible event. But he still did this to me, and I don't get how he could. I could never cheat on anyone, let alone someone who shared such personal things with me. I haven't so much as made eye contact with another man since we met. Other people were just other people, and we were us. I don't know, I just don't see being able to date again. I had deep-seated trust issues long before this, and growing old by myself with 30 cats genuinely sounds nice. Hell, great even. At least I won't always be wondering when the betrayal will come. Then about another week later, we got another update. Transport company came and picked up my car, sold whatever big furniture I brought for low prices, took his dog to the park and played with him a bit, got him a dog cupcake, and took him back to the apartment. Movers started coming for the rest of my stuff, and I hadn't prepared for our property manager, thinking we were both moving out and we hadn't given them the required vacancy notice. She came to talk to me right as my Uber was coming, and I told her what was going on. Unfortunately, they had already called him because only his name was on the lease. He's called and texted me a few times, but I haven't replied. His workday won't be over for a couple more hours. I left my apartment keys and anything he's ever bought for me that I hadn't sold already. Didn't feel like taking that stuff with me. While packing, I remembered we bought a pet camera that shoots treats on the entertainment center and turned it back on. I promised myself I'll disconnect from it by midnight tomorrow, but I have my own predictions about how he'll react, and I just gotta know for sure. Yeah, it's up. Sue me. I actually forgot to leave a note and was running out of time before my Uber came and just left the lingerie set he was so obsessed with on the bed. He'll figure it out eventually, or not. I'm at the airport now with my dog and just waiting on my flight. I wish I could say that I feel free, but I don't. Just tired. Thank you all for the well wishes, and thank you more to all of the other women who reached out with similar stories. I think I might have caved and stayed if you all hadn't. 4 days after this post, OP gave us her final update. I turned it on for about 10 minutes after I got back to my home and unpacked. He wasn't there, but everything was a mess. There was a hole in the wall, furniture flipped over, papers everywhere. The kitchen looked like a tornado went through it. I deleted all of my other social media accounts, but didn't block his number. The first 2 days, he called me over 200 times. Lots of novel-length text messages and him admitting to some shit I didn't even know about yet. Quite a few calls from his dad and friends too. I didn't reply to any of them.